I was looking on the shelf and I picked out another manga, and I'll be honest, the reason I picked this is because the cover art looked good. Now, obviously, the manga I'm talking about is After God. This manga was released in 2021 and currently has 93 chapters. Now, going off that, let's talk about the story. The story starts off telling us that for years, giant creatures called gods have been appearing. They also tell us it isn't just recently. This has been going on for 30 years. And wherever these creatures are, they're left alone and labeled as the danger zone. Now, our attention is turned to one of the main characters being Tokinaga, who is out patrolling when he sees someone trying to sneak a peek at one of the guys. By the way, Tokinaga rope can talk, just so you know. Anyway, he smacks the person peeking and takes them off. Then we learn the person who's trying to peek is called Kamikura Waka. Now, if you're wondering why he did that, you're not really supposed to look at the guys, much less be in proximity. You see, when your eyes meet with a guy, your body becomes rigid, and if you inhale around him, you turn into water. That's the reason why Tokinaga wears a mask, to hide his eyes and mouth. Also, he puts a helmet onto Waka's head. This is supposed to be a special mask, but you'll see later that it kinda is. Anyway, the reason Waka is here is because she's looking for her friend. That's when Tanaka tells her that gods are basically natural disasters, and if her friend came into contact with one, there is no point because she's most likely dead. Knowing that, Waka still says she's going to look for her friend. Now, their conversation gets cut short because a woman literally decides to drop in. She then convinces Waka to come with her because she can help her meet a god. So they leave Tokinaga and start talking. During this conversation, we learn that the lady name is Uzuki, and she reveals interesting information. You know how Tanaga says God kills those who come into contact with them? Well, that's not always true. There are actually gods who don't kill at all. In fact, a god sometimes takes people and choose them as their subordinate, Uzuki being one of them. Uzuki also lays it out straight that she's fully on the god's side, not humanity, therefore making her an enemy to all mankind. And Uzuki wants Waka to join the sides of the god, and Waka says she's in. But before becoming a full member, Uzuki wants Waka to kill Tanaga, if you're wondering why. Tokinaga is a researcher and his job is to find a way to kill the gods, so Uzuki would clearly not like this. They go to attack Tokinaga, and this is where Uzuki revealed that gods can actually give a little bit of their power to people, and they tend to give it to their favorite subordinates. Now, when Uzuki holds Tanaka up so Waka can finish him, surprisingly Waka grabs Tanaka's weapon and attacks Uzuki. If you're wondering why, it's because Waka hates the gods too. Now obviously with Yuki not being a regular person, she doesn't take her out on the first go. So it turns to a 2v1, being Tanaka and Waka versus Uzuki. Things quickly go south though when Uzuki knocks Waka out and uses her as a shield. Tokinaga tries to negotiate with Uzuki, but she isn't trying to hear any of that and stabs Waka. This leads to something strange happening because after being stabbed in the face, Waka gets back up like nothing. She then goes on to admit that she knows her friend she's looking for is dead, and that's why she can't forgive the gods. Let's talk about her friend for a second because they do provide a backstory. You see, her friend Shion was a nice person, but shown that she gets treated extremely terrible at home. So obviously she's not happy with her living situation. One day she hears a rumor that someone met a god, survived, and became happy after that. So believing in the rumor, Shion went to go meet the god herself to find happiness. And I guess she kinda did because God killed her, but in their eyes, beauty is death. Well, to the gods at least. But Waka didn't like that, so she hates the gods. To be fair, I feel like that was more on Shion than the gods, but hey. Now, back to the fight. Uzuki tries to lay Waka out again, but it doesn't work this time. Because we see that Waka actually has powers, and where her and Uzuki's eyes meet, Uzuki is rendered helpless. If you're wondering why she didn't use these powers till now, it's because of the mask she had on. Yes, the mask was stopping her powers. Which now Uzuki probably wishes she kept on because now she's completely at Waka's mercy. Now Waka wants some answers, so she starts torturing Uzuki, but before she can get deep into the torturing, she's stopped by Tokinaga. Because he needs answers himself on why her powers are so similar to the gods, and bringing an end to chapter 1. Now, personally, I'm enjoying this manga from the pace of the story, the art, and how the guy seems to be unstoppable. If anything, I'm interested in reading the story purely off of Waka alone, especially because I want to know how she gained the power of a god, or power similar to a god. But if you read the story, how do you think about or feel about it so far? Because so far I'll give it a 8.9 out of 10 on first impressions alone. But besides that, that's basically it.